section, the health and social care, as well as our library studies. So for the participating librarians in this session, Emerald does have resources for supporting the library information science course. With regards to content, we have key titles such as the Journal of Documentation and the Online Information Review, among others. So these are covering particularly collection building and management, digital information communication, indexing, classification, and catalog review, among others. So there's also your editorial review, and there's also your other standards that the specific journal publishing companies implement prior to be included into their journal collection. They have a very high number of influential authors, and they are being trusted by these contributors. They have this literati award. Emerald is a literati award, which they do for their outstanding authors and contributors. So if you are doing a paper or a research that you want to be published in Emerald, and this, for example, you publish an article and it has gotten a very high usage in terms of the scholarly community, and you've already contributed many of your articles to Emerald, you will be considered for the Literati Award, which is the outstanding reward for outstanding contributors in the Emerald platform. Then also the international, the coverage in terms of data is international. So they are working with authors from all around the globe. So this is not just Philippine research. This is not just US research. This is research from all over, potentially every country over the globe. And they are getting this publications or research and getting published or in a way published through the Emerald platform. And the last one is, I mentioned earlier, Scopus and Clarivate ISI is the highly cited. So it continues for Emerald to be a source of highly cited journal articles and journal titles. It has been ongoing since 2015, and since actually since they have established their collection, because they really are investing into the high quality journal articles. So if they pass the stringent process of Emerald, it's likely that they would deliver quality content that will be used by the academic community. Now it has continuously growing, and also in order for researchers to be able to utilize the database effectively, it has to be accessible. So it is accessible in mobile devices. It is accessible in your computer and laptops via browser access. And they've been improving their collection by acquiring new journal titles year on, year out. So in terms of the ranking mentioned for the journal articles in or journal titles in your Emerald publishing, or particularly in your subscription to Emerald Premier, it considers two of the most known, let's just say, system or companies that provide in literature on citation. So this will be your Scopus from Elsevier, and they do rank the journals by way of site score, and they do have a computation for this, a formula in terms of identifying the site score of a specific journal title. And this is essentially done every year. They do publish their list, and Scopus itself doesn't really evaluate or review all literature. They also have their own stringent process in for them to include a journal title for review in their system, and for them to provide the respective sites for. So it's not just a all-in list. Not all journal titles are part of the Scopus list. Also is the Clarivate Analytics. This is previously Web of Science ISI, and they do also have their own standards in terms of accepting titles to be part of their list of reviewed titles for citation ranking, and they do measure the ranking or the usability or usefulness of a journal title via the impact factor. So it has its own formula as well in terms of computing the impact factor for a specific journal title. So one key here is supply chain management from Emerald Journals is the first journal to achieve an impact factor of over 4.0, 4.0 is very high. So in terms of the subscription for UP system, Your subscription includes access to current year. It would include subscription content. It would include open access content because there are open access content in your Emerald publishing platform, and also your which is your technically your your open access resources, and you also have your complementary access which provided for your current duration of a live subscription. So that will be the accessible resources. And UP system is currently subscribed to Emerald Premier with access to perpetuity. So what that means is for the following year, the current subscribed collections or content for the year 2021 will be kept accessible to UP system. So it becomes, in terms of, in a way, journals are essentially subscription content, but with AIP, that becomes perpetual in terms for your institution. So this can be the current year 2021 collections or issues and still accessible for your institution on the following year. One key here is, of course, platform fee. So far, no discussions with regards to platform fees. So even if the institution stops subscribing, they will be able to access the contents that they have subscribed to with access in perpetuity. This is through the open platform of the Emerald Publishing. So Emerald Insight can be accessed with or without login. So that the only difference is without authentication, you cannot access the full text of your subscription content. But in any case, if you have resources that, for example, UP System's current subscription includes AIP, so even if the institution does not renew, they will still be able to access. But of course, we want the institution to renew for them to be able to access the new journal issues or resources, because that is what's important in the field of research, the latest available journal issues and articles in the platform. Now, it's a dedicated research platform that allows for example, improve accessibility. So how does the Emerald Insight platform do this? They are supporting various means of authentication. So one is just your IP authentication, which is when you access on site, when you access within the UP Diliman UP system network. So in this subscription, all of the systems or all of the networks of the 8 campuses are registered into the system of Emerald, and users will be able to access on-site or on campus. In addition to that, they also have the remote access via the OAN, Organizational Account Number, which is a user-based remote access. And they also support other means such as Open Athens, Shibboleth authentication, and this just allows for users to be able to maximize the use of the platform. It is integrated in terms of integration with remote customer websites through harvesting and remote search capabilities. It is discoverable. Citation management and reference linking features includes compatibility with reference resources such as EndNote, Reference Manager, and RefWorks. So these are technically exporting reference information. And content is indexed in all major discovery services. So if your institution would be uh, investing on a discovery service, this will be discoverable content in those particular solutions. And also customize. When we say customize, it's not all in terms of subscription. There are available collections to subscribe, so you can tailor fit the collection of subscription based on your current requirements. And for the particular case, you actually got your institution or the UP system has access to the largest collection of Emerald, which is the 13 collections under the Emerald Premier. And unique, every user can create a user profile, which allows them to personalize their access and experience to the platform. So this will be in terms of citation alerts, bookmarking, and even saving their search results. And in terms of supporting the library, it also provides access to usage reports, KBART, and MARC records. So MARC records is something that can be used to integrate the online content or resource to your library management system. If in case you have, for example, I do believe you have your iLib or the system or the LMS developed by the UP institution, and you can integrate this and searchable in the LMS, and you can also integrate it and searchable in any discovery services. Now, the platform is designed in such a way that it would deliver both user experience and usability. So we have, in terms of download, so this is a very good discussion. In terms of download, there are no download restrictions for any of the accessible contents into your institution. It is provided with basic and advanced search capabilities that allows users to quickly locate relevant content, search relevant content, and access them in the quickest way possible. There are no embargoes, so as soon as a journal article is made available, it is and that journal title is part of the Emerald collection. It is made available into the platform and accessible by the subscribers. So this is in case of the new issues or journal issues and articles published over the year. It's searchable in HTML and PDF, and you can actually download the PDF format. It's accessible in mobile devices, and there's no limit in terms of the concurrency. So uh, for your institution, anybody who has internet access will be able to access the platform with no problems and will be able to access subscribed contents. And structured abstracts allows users to assess content prior to exploring the content. For example, if you search for a specific keyword, you'll get a list of related journal articles, and you will be given the abstract for you to assess if that particular article is useful or not for your particular search requirement. And it's institution-wide access. So in the YouTube system, it's accessible to all of the 8 campuses. So in terms of requirements and access, of course, if you are accessing from your uh, mobile phone or your tablet and your computer and laptop, you will need a browser to load the Emerald Insight URL. And once you have, and you will be required to log in or authenticate. So in case of on-site access, as you can see here at the bottom, we have on-site IP authenticated access. So you will be able to access full contents when you're accessing within campus. And you also have your remote access via the OAN, which we will cover on the later part of this session. And it offers complete functionality with every web browser and requires internet connection to access. The accessible titles will be under the collection subscribed. So in the case of the system, this is the Premier collection or the 13 collections that are under the platform. It's an annual subscription with 1 year access. And it is, of course, it has offline capabilities in the form of downloaded PDF. So if you download an article PDF, you will be able to access it and read on it without Q&A. Let me just reshare my screen, and I'll be sharing my browser. So currently this is your Emerald Insight website or platform. And as you can see immediately when you do this link, which is this is actually https:/emerald.com/insight. And you will be led to the homepage of the platform. And as you can see here, this indicates welcome guest user, meaning I am currently not authenticated. But even so, even if I'm not authenticated, I can still begin searching. I will be getting the same results as I do if I have authentication. The only concern here or the problem is, of course, you will not be able to access full contents when you are not authenticated. So in order to authenticate, you need to log in here. So here's your register a profile, as I mentioned earlier, when you're creating your account. So let's just do this one. For example, I am a guest user. I am currently a user from UP system and I don't have an existing Emerald account. So what I'll do is that I'll just register for a profile, and I will be asked to enter my name. Sorry. So I have to enter my full name here, first name and last name, my email address, the one that I currently actively use, and my OAN, which is a 15-digit number. Okay, so for each of your campuses, you have your own respective assigned OAN. I just have to click this terms and condition bar, accepting that. When you click this, of course, we encourage you to read the terms and conditions and the privacy policy before clicking on this box, just so that you would know the coverage in terms of the terms and conditions of the use of the platform, the power use of the platform, and the privacy that is given to you by Emerald in terms of using their database. So technically, this is privacy in the for information that you provide, which is mainly your name and your email address, and also your usage or your behavior in terms of the platform. And when you click on this one and click on register, you will be able to be logged in into your account. You will be able to receive an email containing the activation of your account. And once you activated that account, you will be asked to provide your username and password, and then you will be able to access your personal account and with remote access. So with the ability to remotely access the resource. In the case of existing users, you have to log in and then you just have to click on the profile and add the organizational number, organization access number for you to get remote access. So now I'll be demonstrating unauthenticated access. So I shown earlier that I can search, but I cannot access the full content. In case of you just need to browse if there are titles relevant to your requirements, when you type search here, it will automatically auto-suggest. So let's just do one. As you can see here, it's index. So the index is the one showing in the auto suggest for the search, and you will be suggested with contents, but you can proceed with your keyword search. As you can see here, I'll just proceed with the word business, and I would be able to access or find the list of relevant resources. So this is one key discussion, trying to access or research the resource or the database. I will be able to display the list of search results here. So there are around 248,000 results, and this is just 1 out of 10. So you can customize this to 10 or 20 or 50 per page, and you can also sort this by relevance or by relevance will be in terms of how useful the content is for your particular keyword search, or even for the recency. So either the newest or the oldest. And usually we would look for the newest available article or content. So as you can see here, this is the list. And if we try to download the PDF for something that is not accessible, okay. So you won't get the full text for this one because we are currently not authenticated. So in order for us to download the full content, so to read the full version, you need to be logged in, as you can see here. So in case for the UP Diliman, they can actually authenticate via Open Athens. But in the case of the other institutions, they can log in via their personal account, which they have registered with the OAN or the Organizational Access Number. So before I proceed, do we have a question with regards to getting remote access for your Emerald? You can type questions over chat so I can see them. And maybe the facilitator can also help identify key questions that are coming in over chat as I go along my presentation. Okay, so we have, let's do authenticated access. So I've done the procedure before. I created the account and used the OAN for UP Diliman. And I'll be using that for the demonstration of the authenticated access. So I'll be logging in using my credentials. And as you can see, once authenticated, you will be able to see that you have authentication under the institution. So this is the personal user, and this is the campus for which I have used the OAN. So I use the UP Diliman OAN. That's why I am authenticated under the UP Diliman campus. And as you can see here, this has changed. You already see some saved searches here, access to your profile, access. This is just a list of your available accessible resources. So if you click on this one, you will see here that this Emerald Premier here. So this is the access for this particular site. And you also have the access to your profile. So the profile allows you to change for the particular user account in terms of changing your details. So you can change password here or add an organization access number. So in case that you have an account that is not authenticated, but it's an existing and you don't want to use any or create any other account, it is via this means. You log in, you access your profile, and you add your respective campus organization access number here so that your account be tagged with remote access for your particular campus for which you belong to. Okay, so this will be the personal profile. And then going back, you also have your access to your saved searches. So earlier on, I did a search and I saved that one. So this is not possible if you are accessing from the IP authenticated access, meaning you're not logged in as a personal user. So you can only save searches when you are logged into a personal account. So in this case, I can quickly revisit. So this is time saving in a way because I can actually do searches for relevant keywords and then save those searches and then later on revisit. So this is one I did earlier, and if I'd like to revisit this one, I'll just save a link. And so I don't have to do the search over and over. I can maintain a record of my search activity and revisit the results, as you can see here. And as you can see, it's also changed in terms of interface. Authenticated access already allows you to access or display content availability here. So it's no longer restricted and you can access the particular resource. Okay, so I'll just go back to the platform and go back to the homepage with login access and do the search. Okay, so you have your search bar front center at the bottom, and you can do it two ways. You can do keyword search, which is your basic searching, or you can do it by advanced search. Advanced search allows you to define your search into a more detailed criteria. So you can search all Emerald content, or you can just search journal articles, or you can identify other of the available contents here. In the case of the UP system, the accessible content are part of the journal articles and the open access content. So you have here your search term, and you can actually define the field from which you want to search the platform. So it can be by title, abstract, contributor, or if you have particular digital object identifier, you can also do it by this means, find the DOI. You can define the date of search. So if you want recent publications, you can find the current year of 2020 to 2021. So this will be a very, very recent search. And you can also define the access type. So we usually recommend that you pick the content I have access to. So this is for you to be able to only access resources for which you will be able to download or access the full content. So another one is the only open access. So if you want to access the open access resources, you can click on this one. So without selecting, you will be able to search, or you will be able to access the list of results with a combined accessible and not accessible. So for the journal titles that is not subscribed by the institution, it will remain inaccessible for the institution, or you will not have use for it. But in that case, it will be a good point because it would generate what we call a turnaway data. Turnaway data is something that could prompt your library that there is a particular demand for that specific resource. So if you're accessing books, or if you're accessing journal articles not part of the premier collection, and those will be recorded in the usage statistics or report for the library, and they will be able to identify in their renewal or for the future plans, should they be expanding the subscription for the UP system to address the particular turnaways. So this will be including the back files, access to the back file articles, or access to the books, or purchasing books from the Emerald Publishing Collection. So these are all useful data for your library that can help trigger or help decide in terms of expanding the accessible content via your Emerald Publishing platform or Emerald Insight platform. So that would be your advanced search. And I hope that is pretty clear with regards to doing your basic keyword search and your advanced search. But in case you proceed with your basic keyword search, let's do that one more time. you also have the means to filter these results. So in terms of any platform, when you search a platform, the first thing that's important, it must be able to search all of the contents in the platform. So that would be a comprehensive search of the database. And after that, the ability to filter the results to the most relevant content. So 248,000 contents or number of contents is not useful for a particular research, because you will not be able to browse each and every one of those in a very short amount of time, or the limited time that you have. So you will have to have a way to curate or to um, limit the results to those that are relevant to you. So you have your filter function here. So for example, I'll just filter this. I'll sort this first by relevance, because my priority is the relevance of the article to my keyword search. So I'll make it more specific. That's just strategic planning. Okay. So for this case, we will have a different list of search results. 104,000. That's still a lot. And I can just sort this by relevance. I choose relevance because I am particularly concerned about the most relevant articles in my research. And then I can just focus on content that I have access to. So these are the subscription content and the open access content that is accessible to your institution. So that will become 82,000 results. And in terms of recency, the most recent or the most relevant in terms of the last week. So this will be recent content that has been made available in the platform. Okay. So this falls to 136, which is already a manageable number. And in terms of content type, I would just like to access your article. So this will be the refined list of 4 results that you can then now proceed to. For me, what I will do is I will just save the search first. So in this case, I have a recorded, uh, I have a record or a recorded search that will be saved in my search results. I'll just access that one more time. And then I can proceed to review. So if I have more time at the moment, I will proceed to review the list. So I can access the specific article here. So by clicking on the title here, or if I want to assess first if it's related to me, I'll just view the summary and the details. So we have here our extract or our abstract, but this is a bit shortened. So to view the full abstract, we will have to view the summary and detail here. So this will be the abstract of the article, purpose, design methodology and approach and findings, research limitations, and so on. And we also have our details. So this is the bibliographic details of the specific article. So this is coming from the Accounting, Auditing, and Accountability Journal under volume 34, number 1. And this is a research article with the DOI and ISSN here. And also, there are also keywords here that are tagged for the specific article. So if you search for neoliberal globalization, you will be able to search this specific article or access this specific article. And this is also searchable via search term global supply chain accounting, and Australian automotive sector. So this will be something that would be useful for any researcher, because they will be able to determine the the relevancy of this to particular words or subject. Now, we access the full article. I believe this is relevant to my requirements. So I can just click on this one. So for the purpose of this training, I'll be doing the right click to open to new tab. But you can just you can just proceed on clicking the link to open in this current tab. So this will be open in a new tab, and I'll be able to view the article here. So the book information, or sorry, the journal information is here, and also have our PDF download here. So if I intend to visit or read this in the future, for example, later today, and I won't have internet connection, I can just quickly download the PDF so I can read on it later, internet connection or offline. So in the article level, you have your outline here. So you can jump from content to content using the outline. So this will jump to the particular content. And you can also do the browse. So you can browse the full article here. This is in HTML, so you can actually highlight this, copy paste, or you just proceed to download the PDF to get the files. And as you go along the full text, you also have your bibliography at the bottom part. So this will be your references on this specific article. Okay, so this is particularly a journal article issue or a journal article access. And what's important of keeping it in the platform or just saving this search, let's just save this search one more time and save it into my uh, save searches, is that, let's open that article level here. What's good about this is this particular part. So in the aspect of research, we do have research that we need to narrow down, or we do have research that we need to further expand. In the case of the faculty, we need other resources that we can recommend to students to access or read so that they can develop their topic or their paper topic. So the related articles in the platform would be very useful for any of the researchers, be it student or faculty. This will allow them to access relevant content. So the relevant content may be in the form of journal article, expert briefings, and so on. So if you, for example, you try to access your expert briefings here, you will have access to this one. But because this is currently it's a separate subscription, the expert briefings. So you will just have access to the abstract here for the information. But in order to access this one, you will have to be a subscriber to the expert briefings. So, but in any case, they can also locate related journal articles such as this one. So this one is something that they can, or the user can explore. They can download the PDF or keep a copy so that they would be able to use this for their particular research as an additional reference in terms of expanding the research requirements or research. Okay, and it's also available in PDF download here for remote access and so on. So that will be accessing related content by a particular keyword search or particular initial resources that you are accessing. So that would be for the aspect of creating your particular, let's just say particular profile in terms of creating your curated list of searches. And you can develop that. So again, to access that one, you just have to go to your saved searches here, which is available on the top to be able to access any of the saved searches that you've done in your previous use of the platform. Okay, so for example, for this particular article, we have here our let's say citation that can be downloaded as RIS. So this is something that you can download, or you can actually just copy paste this particular uh, article or sorry, citation information and put it into your bibliography or your as reference into your citation in your paper. So we also have here our DOI. So the digital object identifier, you can click as one. So this would be the DOI link for this particular article, which for the purpose of the faculty or even for the librarian in terms of the reference, if for example they have a reference service and they would be offering that to the students, they can share this link to the users so that they will be led to this particular article. So this will be in the aspect of sharing access to the related articles. In the purpose of the faculty, if you are using an online course, for example, and you would like to add this into your part of your readings, you can also use this link so that you would be able to lead students into this particular reading or article. Okay, let's just put some questions here. Okay, address some questions. So I'll be going over chat. Can anyone set up a user profile in Emerald platform? And logging in would require an organization account. Can this be done by UP for all users with a UP account? Okay, so thank you, Miss Emily, for that question. Anybody, even those not from UP, can create an account. So they just have to go to the Emerald Insight platform and click on the register. So they will be able to create their personal account by providing their name, email address, and in the case of a personal user not affiliated to any institution, they will not have an OAN. And so they can create an account, but they will only be able to access the open access contents. So it's the same as if you're not logged in to the Emerald Insight. Because it's not tagged to any subscribing institution, it will not access any of the subscription content. So they still have a personal account. They can still do their saved searches. The only difference is they don't have access to the subscription content. But there are open access content in Emerald that researchers can still use with regards to their particular research. So those will be the one accessible to them. In the case of UP system, each campus has their own respective OAN, and any student, they just need to be provided their OAN. So the library will be, I do believe the library will be in charge of providing the OAN for, who do we ask for the OAN of UP Diliman? I would just suggest to contact the library. If somebody is from UP Diliman in this session, you can help clarify. But I do believe the library will be providing this. It's in a form of a manual. Let me just show you that one. So this has been provided for the UP system, and this can be disseminated by the library. This one. This is a complete instruction. So this is a OAN, a 15-digit number. And this will be existing for any, since this is for the UP Diliman, and another one will be available for each of the other campuses, Baguio, UP Visayas, UP Mindanao will have their own respective OAN, and this will be disseminated by, I believe, the respective libraries. Just go back to my slide. Sorry, my browser. Okay. Questions. So I hope I've answered the question. Anybody can create an account, and the only difference is UP or users from UP will be given their OAN so that they will be able to tag their personal accounts to a remote access for their Emerald Premier collection. Can you create subfolders in Emerald to save the downloaded articles according to subject? Currently, the save searches capabilities has no foldering capabilities, so it's just one folder here. I will ask Emerald if they have plans to create a filing system for the saved searches so that they would be able to, in a way, to able to create sub collections for their specific searches. Right now, everything is saved in this single platform or single folder, if you may, all your saved searches. And this is just for your own. So users from other users from UP will not be included here, all their saved searches. This will be as your personal, for the personal user account. So this will be limited in a way, and you can manage this by improving the list, doing searches and saving them, and then also you can delete if this is found to be no longer useful for your particular requirement. Okay, so thank you for the respective library for sending. So I do believe this involves requesting the OAN from the library. And that will be a very important discussion in terms of maximizing the use of the Emerald Premium, Emerald Premier journals, is because the current situation can only allow us to access resources remotely. And I do believe this is part of the implementation program for UP. Is there a maximum amount of articles you can download and save in Emerald? So this is a very, very good question from Emily. Again, um, by by paper, there's none. Because you are a subscriber of the subscribe contents under the Emerald Premier collection, let's just go back and I'll do just one quick search so that I can list it down. You are entitled to download the contents from the Emerald platform. So let's just do that one. So everything that you can see here, which is, for example, this one, only content I have access to, is downloadable. So in terms of number, usually discuss this for all the users here. So for the faculty, the librarian, and there are students present. Um, there is a guideline. I mentioned earlier that when you register for an account, you are asked to view the terms and conditions. And usually the terms and conditions for online resources is you can download, or a user can personally download content for their academic use or personal use. So the number is no longer material if that is used for that particular purpose. So the answer is no limit for the authorized user. Now, in terms of, for example, reference service, for example, the library is offering the selective dissemination of information. And let's just for the purposes of example, they created articles related to management information systems. So they created this collection or list and they downloaded the PDF. And they plan to share this to the students who have relevant resource requirements for management information systems. So they can do this one-to-one. For example, I'll send it to a specific student. But in terms of sending it to all as part of a newsletter or part of a announcement, that is something, sending the PDF by the way, is not encouraged, because that is treated as mass dissemination and mass download. So it's not, the downloader or the librarian didn't download it for personal use and also disseminated it. What we can do for that one is we recommend sharing the links or the DOI instead. So you create a list of resources, relevant resources, collect the DOIs or the digital object identifier or links, and send that to the students so that the students will access the links in the platform, and in that way it will generate usage statistics for the institution, and also it will allow them to access the one I showed earlier, which is this one, the relevant resources. So this will be something that we help them in terms of improving the research and accessing relevant content. So that would first drive usage of the platform, which will be good for your institution because you will have a good understanding of how your users behave in terms of information requirements, and also the ability to search. So if they are logged into their personal account, save particular searches that they did personally. So they can actually build on what has been shared to them by the library in terms of the reference service. No limit for download, but the system administrator can detect Autobot downloading. Okay. In terms of Autobot downloading, there are services or software that can be used to auto-download content from websites. And similar to all other platforms, there is this threshold. The threshold would be, for example, for a particular user account, for, let's just say a bot, it would download multiple contents, a large volume of contents like an article. And usually the purpose of this is to harvest the content and put it into a third-party repository, for example, a non-Emerald platform. So we put it in like an accessible server or shared server, which is also part of the restricted use of the resource. Getting the contents and putting it in a third-party platform is something that needs to be discussed with the publisher, Emerald, and needs to get permission. It would depend on the purpose of that. But in general or as a default, it is not encouraged, or in a way it's prohibited to do that one. And autobotting is using that program to technically automatically download either all the contents or new contents made available in the platform. And even if it's not Emerald, even if it's Elsevier, even if it's Wiley, these are all prohibited. This is considered mass download, and this could trigger blocking, temporary blocking of access to mitigate that downloading. So this is also part of the security. For example, in case your access has been hacked by another user from a non-UP affiliation, and they intend to get the contents of the database and use it improperly or resell the content, then the massive download would trigger temporary disabling of the access to the resource until it is investigated, and Emerald will provide reinstatement of access. So that would be for Autobot and massive downloading of content. So I mentioned earlier that it's personal academic use. Even if it's personal download, if the user would intend to resell, for example, I download the PDF and then I sell it to select users or students for a fraction of a fee. Like for example, this article is sellable for 10 pesos per article or so on. As long as it's done in commercial purpose, it's also strictly prohibited. So this is in general for all of the online resources, including Emerald. So it's primarily for personal and academic use. I do hope the library would be able to, or CE Logic will be able to help in terms of conducting that to end users if there's a session to educate them on the proper use of resources. Usually, these are unintentional. They don't know the limitations of their access. That's why they are doing it. And in that case, the library education of the end users, or a session with the end users, or guidelines that is sent to them would allow them to use the resource with appropriate measures, or with the appropriate means or method for the institution. So it would be usually part of the library orientation for the users, for them to know the scope or the content or the scope of the usage that they have for the databases that are subscribed to by the institution. But in general, that is massive downloading and reselling of content. Good question from Emily. If this is integrated into a course, we recommend the link rather than the PDF. Reasons I mentioned earlier, that they will have access to related articles. It will drive usage into the platform, supporting the library and providing them with statistics as to assessing the behavior of the end users, meaning the students, in terms of the information requirements. And in the case that they are accessing turnaways, meaning they are accessing, for the UP system, they are accessing Emerald books, or for example, briefings, expert briefings, or even the cases. As you can see here, if I would just go back, because this is an open platform, I can click on browse the platform content, and they can even access the case studies and the expert briefings here. So if students are accessing this particular content and trying to get content for the requirements, they're browsing this and trying to access full text, this will be registered under the turnaway. So it's not accessible in my current authentication, but if I'm trying to click on this one and trying to access the full text, this would trigger turnaway statistics that would help your library evaluate and if they would be expanding the access to these specific collections. So that is correct, Ma'am Emily. We recommend the students to download the article from Emerald themselves. So this is done by sharing them the links. Okay, from Arthur, but downloading is use of third-party software. Yeah, that is correct, Arthur. So this is a third-party software that is primary purpose is to automatically download content, and that is in general prohibited with any existing online resource. Although we always talk about let's just say digital rights management, or DRM free. DRM free is, for example, you can download it without any restrictions. That is true, but it is always covered by the proper use or the respect of intellectual property. So in that case, intellectual property, observing intellectual property would mean, or proper use of resources for academic and personal use, and non-commercial. So that would be the restrictions for that one. But any user can download the PDF. for their own personals. There is no limit. Unlimited simultaneous concurrent user means it can provide access to the thousands of populations for UP system. So they can go to the platform, Emerald site, log into their respective account, or access the platform under IP authentication, and they will not be denied content. They will not be denied content if they're authenticated, even if this is happening at simultaneously, for example, 1,000 users or 2,000 users and so on. This is 24/7 access. The only requirement is internet connection for them to be able to access. Okay, we experienced IP blocking. That is correct, ma'am. Even if you don't use a third-party software like a bot, if there is thank you, Sir Jason, for that one. If there is a detection on the system, the back-end system of the publisher or the provider of massive downloading, this will be subject for investigation. So the course of action for them is to temporarily block the IPs for that particular institution, investigate, and once they are given, for example, the explanation on that particular behavior, or they are able to get the findings, then they can actually reactivate the block IPs. So this is just a protection, because in case that massive download is not done by any of the authorized users of the institution, then that would be a protection on your end, because uh, that would not allow that particular unauthorized user to access or download massive content using your credential or identity. So this will also be a trigger, because some schools implement security measures in terms of, for example, the school or the UP would also investigate how that massive download happened, and is it a user from UP or not, so that they can also do proper action in terms of the security of their resources. So this is by way of either uh, cleaning out in terms of the users that they have for the particular platform or database, in case you have control over the users, or also working out in terms of detecting and removing this unauthorized use for the institution. It does happen for databases, Sir Jason. For massive downloading, this could possibly trigger. There is no number at the moment. We cannot provide you any number for any of the databases. They have their own criteria in terms of tagging this for massive download and doing the respective blocking or protection measures. So I do understand that we have, so I think we might define the term no limit for download. Yes, sir. To define the no limit for download is, for example, I'm a personal user and I'm downloading articles. It is unlikely that I'll be downloading 10,000 articles for my particular requirement. That would be unlikely. I would only be downloading, say, 20 to 50 articles that are highly relevant to my specific search requirement. So that would be still a lot of PDF downloads, but this still allowed or will not be subject for any blocking. It is unlikely for one user or one single user to download thousands of articles in a given day. So I covered trying to search via keyword and search and accessing the resources. Let's just do one quick download. Okay, so I'll just try to search one more term here and do the download. While doing that, I'll do one for the chat. Thank you as well, Sir Jason. And it's really part of the library orientation to orient their users on the proper use of the resource. The massive downloading will also skew the usage statistics for your institution if this is allowed or this is allowed to continue. So skewed meaning it's not really the regular download behavior. It will not be useful statistics for your institution, because this will be in a way skewed or not the usual numbers. Okay, so in terms of accessing this, you can have your HTML. So this will be your HTML access for your article. And you also have your PDF. So I'll go back on the search and access the PDF. So this will be opened in a online reader, And this is the download button to save this into your computer. And you can see that you can access the full PDF here of the article up to the bibliography part. And this can be saved by downloading. Clicking on this will allow you to download that, and it will appear the lower. Also, I have to choose where I have to save it. But after you save it in the folder, for example, under downloads and save, it will be downloaded, and this will be read with any of the available PDF readers in the market. So let's just open one. Let's go and open that PDF. Here, so this is the article that is downloaded that students can access even without internet connection and read on. Oh, sorry. I will share my screen because it stopped sharing. Here, so I hope you can see the PDF. This is the PDF. And we do have also, as you can see here, we have platform user guide that can be sent to the library. So this will be something that will be helpful for the users in terms of a quick overview on searching. And we will work with the library with regards to disseminating particular resource content. And going back, we also have this one. We also send this one to the library in terms of setting up the organization. And we also have this one, which is the PDF I downloaded earlier. And this can be read with offline or without internet connection. So this is it just requires any of the PDF readers available in the market. And some are free for download. Okay, so that will be the PDF view. Now, because Emerald is also a publisher, I do have a few minutes more. Emerald is a publisher. There's also this one, reprints and permissions. So because this is their publications, and in cases that you would need permissions to do the reprint or uh, secure the content from the platform, get copyright clearance. So this is usually in a way useful for um, publishers of books. For example, I am a faculty and I'm publishing a book, and I need to use that particular content as part of my book publication. Then I need to get the copyright clearance before I can use that. And this is just a means for them to automatically secure copyright clearance for that particular part of this article. So this is in the case that as a publisher, we do the reprints, and as authors, they do the reference on the contents. So in the publication industry, particularly if you are a researcher and planning to publish a book, create a book, and using contents from the Emerald platform, there is already an available facility for you to seek copyright clearance for you to be able to incorporate this particular content into your book publication. In the aspect of academic publication, for example, research papers, which is non-commercial, journals are non-commercial, this is academic purpose. Simple citation would be able to technically allow you to practice academic integrity. So if you cite your references, then there's no breach of any intellectual property, because an article is an academic paper that is for the academic use of the academic community. So it's not commercial, and there's no need to get copyright clearance on that one. But if you are using it for a book publication that you have, then that would be covered by this one. So I hope there's no question with regards to filtering the results. So the objective of filtering is to limit this thousands of results. So we have a comprehensive search, and then we have means to limit that search to either relevant or most recent. So that would allow you to access. You'll be able to access the article, read on it on HTML online, or download the PDF, or the best way for faculty would be to share the link. So I'll go over that one again. I'll access the DOI here. And this is something that I can share to my course. I can embed this to my course or include it in my list. Actually, I can include the full citation and provide the DOI so that students can know what it's all about and access the link and be redirected to this particular article, which is in this particular article here. So digital object identifier are pretty much solid. They are what we call, also called durable. and this will not change over time. This will be a fixed content. So it is ideal for embedding in learning management systems as well as your library management system in case of integrating. So you have your mark records for the bibliographic data of the content, and you have your DOI for the linking to the platform for the purpose of access. Okay. So that brings me back to my presentation in terms of questions. Any other questions that I would that the users or the participants would like to address with regards to their Emerald? I hope it is clear that all of you will be able to access your Emerald Premier collections, and you will be able to maximize all of the accessible contents or journal articles under this subscription. And with the restrictions of the current face-to-face, we do believe we are in full support of implementing the remote access for your institution. So let us know if you have challenges so we can address those particular challenges in terms of providing remote access.
Right. So actually, some of the questions have already been answered, as most of them Sir Jeffrey explained earlier. No, however, we still do have some questions in our pigeonhole. So I think it would still be beneficial if we are to answer these questions and continuously shed light, no, on some of the issues. So let me just share my pigeonhole. So we have a few questions.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So all right. So first off, uh, what do what to do if I encounter access restricted sign against my search results?
Yes, this is a very good question from the users.
Mm-mm.
If you encounter an access restricted sign against your search results, the first thing you need to do is to check if you are authenticated. So this would prevent the situation that you should have access but unable because you're just not authenticated. So you proceed with the procedure of getting your personal account registered, getting it remote access authenticated by an OA, and then trying to do your search again. And if you are already authenticated and encountered an access restricted sign, the next thing is that it's not part of your subscription. So as an open platform, Emerald provides access to the journals, to the books, expert briefings, and case studies. So all this content can be searched in the platform, a single search, but not all are accessible because accessible content is based on the subscribed content. So in your case, that will be the 13 collection or journal collections under the Premier. So if you do encounter that access restricted, you may contact the library, but in any case, you just need to click the link, try to access it, and that would technically in system record a turn away report. It would record in the system that one user is trying to access this content. And if all users will be doing this, I'm not saying it's a guarantee that you will get that collection, but it's useful data for the library to say, to assess that I have a premier collection to journal articles, access to journal articles, but I may be having users that have this particular niche requirement that I may be considering in the future. So that would be the purpose of the turnaway report. This is done. It can be done regularly or annually, the usage report, and it will contain all the usage for your current subscribed contents as well as your turn away.
Right.
So
So
I
thank you
hope
for
that answers
answering.
the question on access restricted.
Mm-mm, mm. All right. So moving on. So hopefully that clears that particular question. All right. So our next question is, how do I
Oh, sorry,
access?
Gideon.
Yep.
If I was suggest for you not to
Yep. Go
encounter
ahead.
that one, you just click on the only content that I have access to. So in the filter, there is this checkbox of
Yeah.
show only contents that I have access to, so that you won't be able to encounter those. So you'll only be displayed with a list of your accessible content. That
Mm,
would help you save time and
mm.
access articles rather than checking it one by one if it's accessible or not. Thank you.
Right. So first and foremost, it would be very essential to use the filters beforehand, going one by one on those results, most
Yes.
especially if there are plenty. All
Yes.
right. So next off, how do I access the teaching notes for a case study?
Okay. For a case study, because this is a separate subscription, which is the Emerald Case Studies. Emerald Case Studies are very useful resources for faculty in terms of course, the cases that you would be able to use in a classroom discussion, and also the teaching notes that is available through this one. And this is unfortunately not available for UP system at the moment. But with with a case Emerald case subscription, this is actually deployed in the classroom. Even if it's acquired by the library, its primary deployment is the classroom, and deployment of the teaching materials is on a faculty level. So this is not actually shared to the library. This is the faculty must need to create an account. It must be tagged as a teacher's account, and only them will be provided with the teaching resources, which is answers to questions and data banks, and also teaching resources for that particular case. And this is a separate subscription. And in case that you are accessing this in your platform at the moment, that would help trigger particularly usage statistics or turn away. That could help the library endorse data to the department that many of our faculty are in need of this case studies and teaching notes. Maybe the department can consider in terms of getting this a separate subscription.
Right. So it's a separate subscription. So hopefully, if there is a need to access that, obviously it would be monitored during a review, in a regular review, and obviously on our end in the library, we will coordinate with the academic unit concerned, and then obviously forward it to CE Logic. Right. So next off, are expert briefings available in PDF format?
Yes, it is available, but it's also another separate subscription. So expert briefings, as you can see, I demonstrated earlier, it's just abstracts that's available with the current UP subscription. But this is a separate subscription. It's like it's a curated content from the experts from Emerald, and this is their perspective on specific, say, situations or, uh, for example, COVID or economic challenge or something. This will be the experts, created experts' opinions and review on this matter, and this will be available via the expert briefings. It's also a separate subscription offered by Emerald, but it is available in PDF format. If you are subscribed to it, you can download it in PDF format.
Right. So next off, when could our CUs get an access with the OAN? So I think a colleague of ours from UP Visayas posted there. So just contact your university library. I think we have already forwarded that particular PDF with a guide from Emerald containing a short brief regarding anything about our OAN access, as well as the number itself, right? All right, next. So if we're going to share the DOI link to our students, do they have to register first?
Uh, you can share the link, they can access the link, but they will just get access to abstracts if they're not authenticated. So the next thing is, I do believe in terms of maximizing the use, the library could implement a massive dissemination of the OAN to end users, so that to ensure that in a month's time, everyone is able to access Emerald remotely from their respective campuses. So that would be one way, so that you won't have any complaints with regards to students emailing the library that I'm not able to access, please send me instructions. So if you have this program to disseminate the OAN to the authorized users, for example, the OAN of UP Diliman for the UP Diliman users, and the OAN for UP Baguio for UP Baguio users, that would help the library a lot in terms of removing those emails regarding remote access, and just get emails from them regarding access concerns or any, for example, request for help on references. Those will be the nature of the email for the library, and no more about remote access. So I do believe it's better to provide the remote access to all of your end users. If you share the DOI link and they are not authenticated, they will be asked to log in. And if the account is not remotely authenticated, they will still not be able to access the full text. So it is important for you to know that your students are also they have a personal account that is authenticated for your campus.
Right, and most importantly, obviously for our students, they need to be validated first, so that they would receive their UP mail, and then in turn they would be able to access these resources through Open Athens.
Yes,
Okay.
and we understand the UP will not be sharing the OAN to campus. We encourage using your own OAN, so that the data on the back end, particularly the usage, would be accredited to that campus. So you can actually break down the usage of UP Diliman versus UP Baguio and other campuses because the access is currently emanating from a user with assigned OAN for that campus.
All right. So thank you for clearing that, Sir Jeffrey. So next up, are we allowed to use our personal email in registering to Emerald and then use our organization's OAN?
That is a good question. I would answer that partially. The answer is yes, but it's subject to the policies of your library. So I'm not sure if UP would be implementing the use of the domain strictly, but it will be subject for your respective library policies. So the each units will be able to declare their own policy. For example, if they want the users of the students to maximize or the faculty to maximize their domain accounts, then they would support using the official domain accounts as their main email while they are in the university. So it first supports the use of the email domain. It also supports the in a way support the policy or the program for you to maximize on your existing UP email domain. But if you would register a Yahoo Mail or Google Mail, as long as you have an OAN, it will tag the remote access.
Right. So thanks for clearing that up. And next up, do I have a choice in Emerald on the different formats in citation?
Yes, when different format of citations.
Hmm.
Okay, at the moment we have export to RIS at the moment, and I think you're talking about MLA, APA, or Chicago format. At the moment we have one format for Emerald, and that is on the as I shown you earlier, it's in a single format and exportable in various forms, various mediums like RIS or text file. This is currently one format at the moment.
All right. So thanks for that information. So so far, I don't. Do we still have any other questions in our pigeonhole? So I'll stop sharing it for now. Oh, I think we have a question in our chat box. So, is the validity of the OAN indefinite? If so, would it be best for UP to collectively register those with valid UP accounts?
The OAN has validity. It is co-expiring with the the start of the subscription for the organization. So for the subscription of the UP system, even if you are registered with an OAN and the subscription is not active, the remote access will not work. But the OAN doesn't expire. The OAN is permanent. It's permanent assigned to a campus. It's just that even if you use that, if the Emerald subscription is not active, then there's no remote access that will be tagged to the account. So it is codependent on the active subscription of the institution.
Right. So obviously, on our end in our library, it is our, I guess it's our responsibility to renew with Emerald, so that that particular OAN would stay active every year or every semester. Obviously, right? So all right. So I guess all right. So that's really noted, Miss Emily. So the validity of UP accounts for students is by the semester when the student is enrolled. I am not sure it is best to massively disseminate the OAN if it is indefinite. All right. So thank you for that insight, Ma'am Emily. However, I think we do have extended. Obviously, we apologize for starting a little bit late, and uh, I would like to acknowledge as well our colleagues from the information services and instruction section. So Arthur had already answered the question. Angel is in our technicals committee for this day, and Isa as well as my co-host. And alongside with us, we have the head of the SAIS. So we have Ms. Rizalyn Vihanyo on our helm. So thank you as well as to our colleagues, and most especially to Sir Jeffrey for sharing his expertise regarding Emerald eJournals. So we're very much thankful for that comprehensive and detailed presentation. So hopefully we'll stay in touch with Sir Jeffrey in the future. All right. So later on, we still have remaining sessions in the afternoon. So hopefully we'll see you there as we are to tackle another online resource that is pretty much readily available in our university library. All right. So thank you again, everyone, and we would be posting. Okay, so all right, so the feedback form is already in the chat box, so hopefully you'll be able to answer them uh, after this presentation. And again, thank you, everyone. See you later and stay safe. Bye, everyone.
Bye everyone.